to today's session and happy new month. So today we've got one of our very highly rated speakers. I think he's done maybe 3 or 4 sessions before now since 2020. So it's like, you know, someone we are used to if you've been with us since 2020. And today he's going to be taking us on magic or filter. His name is Salif Sawadogo, and he has a very practical way of teaching things. He always prepare ahead, practice files. So I'm sure you will find this very practically enriching, and you hopefully get to see all the new and probably hold that you know already, and then interesting ways to use filter. So this session is brought to you by your BizEdge and MHS Analytics. Your BizEdge is a Microsoft Excel financial modeling, Power BI consulting and training company based out of Nigeria. And we also have a platform that you can access free and premium resources at. So I'm going to share the link in case especially if you're interested in doing the financial modeling certification, you can get free templates and mock exams to use from this portal. I'll share it. And MHS Analytics is our Canadian entity. We provide the same services, but maybe focused a lot more on Europe and North American market. So if you have anyone who is in that space and who will feel more comfortable engaging our North American ham, for sure you can send them a contact, or if you are the one, also reach out to us. So to the main crux of today's session, we've got Salif Sawadogo already in. So we are gonna learn a lot from him. Like I said, he's a senior consultant in the financial advisory space. He's currently working in Senegal. I think he was previously in North Africa. I can't remember the country he was working in one of the time. Was it Morocco or Tunisia? So he's also someone who has had to work in different country, different international organizations, and he's been in this data analysis space, got certification, and also provide trainings. And I know you will find this session very, very interesting. So I'll hand over to him now. I'll share his LinkedIn connection link in the chat so that if you want to connect with him, you can send him a connection request. You can also get to know more about him and check out all that he does. So Salif, I think it's over to you now. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Okay, thank you, Michael, for the presentation.
Yes,
Welcome to everyone to this session. My name is Salif Sawadogo. I'm working in financial advisory, passionate about data analytics. So today we are going to talk about the filter function. It is a very useful function that Microsoft released back in 2018. And we can use this function to do so many things. So today I will show you some use case where you can use this function. I will start sharing my screen right now. Okay. Yes, so here I'm gonna use three situations that we can use filter function. So we're gonna start with the basic, like filter function. It can allow you to extract data from your database, likely for the data that matching some lookup result. And then we're gonna see that we can use filter function to replace the sum if function. It sometimes sum if function is not really enough to extract the data I'm looking for, and filter function can be used in this case. And the last one, we're gonna see how we can set up a drop down searchable box using filter function. So what you can do with filter function. Now for this session, I'm gonna use this database. It's a basic one. We just have employee name, the department, and salary of all the employee. So I'm going to use a filter function to extract some data from this database. And the first one, we're gonna start with the basic. For example, we're gonna know the people that working in the finance department. You can check out, filter the people that work in this department. We can filter the people that work in marketing department, sales department, and so on. And it will become difficult when we want to combine many filters. Say, for example, we want to return people that working in finance at the same time, people working in the sales department. Yes, we can do some combination of filter function to return what we're looking for. For example, let's start with the basic. For example, I want to extract people that working in finance. So I will use my filter function. Actually, filter function have three arguments. The first one is array. Array is where you want to pull out your data you're looking for. In this case, it's gonna be my database, the employee database. And the second argument is include, and what we're looking for in this database. And the third argument is optional. You can leave it, but sometimes it's gonna be you have to do something. You have to put, for example, if the filter didn't find something in the database, what you want to return. Okay, let's start for the first one. And my database is formatted as a Excel table, so I can just use the name of the database, or I can just come here and select my data range. For example, I'm gonna give me the name of my database, and I can return some the full database, but I can choose some column. We're gonna see that later. For now, let's return all the database. And the second argument is gonna be the include argument. What we're looking for in this database. For example, here we're looking for people that working in finance department. So I need to go back to my database and select the department column and put equal to finance. You can just write the finance in link to another cell, finance, yes. And yes, as I said, the third argument is optional. You can leave it, but sometimes you have to put something. So if the filter function didn't find something, that not returning some error. Okay, let's leave it right now and see what we got. Yes, I have people that working in finance department, but if I put something here that the filter function can find in the database, let's see what's gonna happen. Yes, we get some error here, calc error. So I'm going to use my third argument. So in case filter function didn't find something, I want you to return, for example, not found. And yes, we cannot find this department in department column. That correct? Let's put back finance. And we have people that working in finance department. So we have the division, the name, department, and the salary. Let's now try to return people that working in finance or people that working in the division of productivity. So we're doing two research here. We want at the same time the people that working in the finance or the people that working in the productivity division. So it's like doing the OR function. We want people working in finance or the people that working in the productivity division. Well, we have to look into different column here. So I can go back to my filter function and we're gonna look where we can put that OR function. So we have the first argument. first argument that the array cannot modify this. The second one is where we should include the lookup. And the third one is if empty. There is no another argument where you can put or lookup. Okay, there is a way to work around this is use the parentheses. For example, here, if I come back to the include argument, instead of doing this, you can put a parentheses. And I'm gonna wrap all of this in parentheses, and we're gonna put this plus sign. So I want people that work in finance. At the same time, I want people that work in a division department. So I'm going to select division department equal division. Okay, so I'm looking at the division department, people that working in productivity. So we have the two arguments. So at the same time, the people that work in finance or the people that work in division. So I can put enter, and you can see that we have at the same time finance and productivity here. So it is that way we can combine the two resources. So the filter function can return what we're looking for. So here I can put a drop-down list, for example, to take the unique list into department column here. I can change it to sales, for example. Okay, I have people that working in sales and productivity. Can change it to utility. We have the result. Okay, that the all research. We sometimes we can search in the same column to, for example, if you were looking for people that working in the division of productivity or division of utility, we can perform the same filter function by adding them together. For example, here I'm looking for people that working in the game division, productivity division, and their salary is more than 80,000. So use the filter function again, looking at our database, and we're gonna include the people that working in the division of equal to game. Okay, I'm gonna wrap all of this in parentheses plus. Okay, one of people also that working in division of productivity, equal productivity. Okay, I'm gonna leave it right now. I'll come back to modify the formula. So now I have people that working in the game division and productivity division. But now I want to add the salary more than 80,000. So how we can do this? We can go back to how I'll include argument, and let's put add to see what we're gonna return what we're looking for. Add and salary equal to no more than 80,000. Yes, I can close the parentheses and hit enter. Uh, I don't have the right result here because here I have some salary less than 80,000. That's not correct. And this is because here we are not, it will not do the or lookup. Here we have to do the a lookup and lookup. For example, for the end lookup, we have to put the multiplication sign. So instead of doing plus, doing multiplication. Even this, we don't get the right result. We have some salary that less than 80,000. And what is happening is that we looking at this before. We looking at people that working in game division or people that working in productivity division, and then we looking for people that working in that the salary is more than 80,000. So we have to do this before. So I'm gonna put some parentheses here before. I'm gonna look the first result that people that working at the same time in game division and productivity division before looking at people that the salary is more than 80,000. So let's put the bracket for the first two all, and then we're gonna look for people the salary is more than 80,000. So I get the right result here. We have people working in game or working in productivity, and the salary is more than 80,000. And also, we don't have to return all the column in the database. And in the filter function, we either return one column or two adjacent column, because if we want to return just the name of the employee and the salary, we cannot do this with the filter function, but we can use another function for this. For example, we can use the choose column. Choose column is a function that one can allow you to choose column in your database. Example, okay, choose column, the array is the result of my filter function. I go to the end of the formula and I want to second column and the fourth column. So I have the name of the employee and the salary. So I have the two. And what we can do more is to add, we can sort them to descending order, for example. So we can use another function sort, and the array is the result of all of this, and I want to sort this. The sort index is the second column, and I want this to be a descending order. So -1. Okay. So I have the employee that working in a game division and productivity division, and the salary is more than 80,000. We can do another function here to take just the top 5. So we can add another function like take, another function that we can use take, and yes, we can put 5. So this is gonna be the top 5 people that working in game division, productive division, and the salary is more than 80,000. So we can change the division to see utility, for example. Yes, utility game set. At the same time, you can do the lookup in two different column with the A when the with the N lookup. For example, we can use the filter again here. Take my database and include people that work in finance department. Take the department column equal to this, and yes, okay, should use bracket here. Okay, uh, on people that working at the not the department, but division column is equal to productivity. If not found, not found. So here we can have the people that working in finance at the same time productivity. So this is what we can do for filter. And what I was saying before is that in some time you can use filter instead of the sum if. I'm gonna show you in case where you prefer to use the filter function. For example, here I have a trial balance. This is not a finance course, but I wanted to use this case to show you where you better use the filter function instead of the sum if function. So for example, I have my trial balance. I want to use this to build my financial statement. For example, here to balance it. And I have my item here, the asset and liability. And to be able to find the amount for each asset here, I will use the account number. For example, I have a list here. For example, the 10 gonna be the share capital. The 11 is reserve. Return earning is 12. Account number starting with 12. I know this is not the common account number for all region, but this for the West Africa use this accounting principle. So the 20 is PPE, and for example, 31 gonna be inventory, 39 impairment of inventory. And yes, 40 it is trade payable, 41 trade receivable, and so on. So we can use this pattern to construct our income balance sheet. For example, here the balance sheet, and use some of these account number. And what sometimes we can do is extract, for example, the first letter, the first number of this, the account number, the first two number, the first three number, and so on. For example, if I come here, I can put, for example, N1. I want to extract, for example, the first number of the account number. And two, I want to extract, for example, the first two number. And for example, in 3, I want to extract the first three number, and so on. For example, we can start with this, and let's see that, for example, for the cash, so here for the cash, for example, we have the 52 and 57, for example. And we can, for example, filter here and look for 52, 57, that's 58 as well. So this is gonna be the cash account, the three number. And if we do this calculation, we can use the sum if. But for example, if I want to return now the cash account, we can use sum if, for example. Sum if, okay, and I want to return, okay, I want to return the amount, guess the amount. So I'm going to my trial balance. I want to select my amount, and I want some else. Criteria errors, go back to my trial balance. Criteria gonna be N2. In this case, we can put N1. For example, I want all the account that's starting with 5. And the criteria gonna be 5. for example. And this is correct, because if I come here and select, so the amount we have 71,000. That's correct. It's okay, but suppose we don't want to add this column. Uh, Instead, we want to do the calculation because I don't want to increase the size of my database. I don't want to add any column here to be able to use the filter, the sum if function. In this case, we can use the filter function. The problem is with the sum if function, it cannot do intermediary calculation. For example, if I use the sum if function here, sum if, and okay, extracting, go to my trial balance, and I want it to the amount, and for the criteria range. For example, suppose I don't want to use those columns, but I want to do some calculation. I want to extract the first two number of the account number. If I use the left function here, it doesn't gonna work. Left function, I want to take the trial balance on the account number, and I want to return the first two number. Okay, and criteria gonna be, let's say, 52. It's not gonna work because semi function, we cannot do some calculation inside the function, but filter function allow us to do so. So let's go back here. For example, let's say we wanted to do left. Okay, let's take the trail balance. We want to extract the first two number. So we got this. And yes, and we can use this in the filter function. For example, if I go back here and use my filter function, for example, filter, I want to trial balance, I want the amount, and I want to include equal to, okay, include, yes, yes, okay. It's not working because when you use the left function, your data become a text. So instead of 52, if you put them in, so it's working. And I don't want to use this. Instead, I want to convert this to number. So I put number value. So it working. So for example, I can, from this, I can extract the amount for the account that's starting with 52. But for the cash account, as you can see, it's not just 52. There are 52, 57, and 58. So we have three. So we either repeat this formula to extract all the cash account amount, or we can use another one function. For example, if I come back here, let's put all of this together. Filter function, we want the amount column. You want to include, okay, let's use the left function here. Trade balance. Again, we want to the first two number inside the account number. For example, yes. And we can at the same time convert this number value. Okay, number value. Okay, good. I put equal to 52. Okay, if not found, let's put 0. So this is the 52. And then we have the 57 and 58. So here, instead of putting 52, let's do another thing. I want to do all the number that range between 50 and 59. So I can put and then I want to put this in a bracket here. Okay, with this. I'm gonna do less than or equal to 59. Yes. So here we're returning all the three accounts. This is gonna be the account number starting with 52, 57, and 58. You can see that here if we go back to the, so we have the 42, 20,000, and 9,000. Okay, let's go back. And then if we have the three number, we can just sum all of this. So we have the 71,000 as we used to do with the sum if function. So we can use the filter function to do all the calculation. For the trade receivable, we can do the same thing. Let's do, for example, for inventory, it's gonna be the easy one. We're gonna use the trade balance. I want to return the amount column, and I want to include, okay, left trade balance, and left of what, of the account number on it. Let's for them to 1 and equal to, for example, 3. 3. If not found, they put 0. Yes, this is a problem. The formula speed. So here we have to do this. Put this sum function. Sum. Gonna sum all of this, and we have the inventory amount. We can do the same for the trade receivable using the filter function. So I'm not going to do this. I will move on to show you the last use case where you can use the filter function. Is when you're gonna set up, for example, a drop-down searchable uh, list. For example, here I have the name of my employee and the department where they are working. And I want to set up a drop-down list that can allow me to select an employee and see in which department it's working. And The aim is when I start typing, for example, the name of an employee, and I go to the drop-down list, I want to see all employee that name starting with, for example, Robert, for example. I want to see all employee that name include Robert, for example. And we can use a filter function for this. Filter function will use some other function like the search function. And this is what we're gonna do here. So the first thing to do is to use the search function. The search function is gonna allow us to see if, for example, if I type Robert here, in what line we can find Robert, for example. And the search function can allow us to do this. Search function. And text to find is Robert. And we're gonna look at in the name. So I'm gonna take all the name, for example. And the third argument is optional, so let's leave it like this. So in the line we don't have Robert, we're gonna return an error. For example, here we don't have Robert here, but here we have Robert. And here as well, we have Robert, and here, for example, that's it. And I want to convert this to a true or false. And to do so, I'm just gonna use the isNumber function. And this is gonna be the value. So in the line we have Robert, we're gonna return a true and a true. So, but instead of returning true or false, we can return the actual name here. So we can come back here and use our filter function. Filter function, this is the array. No, the array is gonna be the employee name. So can come back here, select the employee names, and then include gonna be this. If not found, I can with not found or something. So it's gonna filter all the employee names that include Robert. For example, if I change it, I put Poe. So I'm gonna just return the employee names that include the word Poe. So I'm setting all of this here. So I'm gonna change the search cells instead of E1 from this sheet. I'm going to put this here. So here where I want to put my drop down list, so I'm going to refer to these cells. So if I don't specify anything in my cell, it's going to return all the employee. But for example, if I come here, I put all. If I come back, I have all the employee names that include the word for. So I'm going to just change this and delete this, and I can come back here and put my drop-down list. So I can go to data validation. I want a list, and the list is gonna be this, and I have to put the hashtag to allow the list to expand. Hashtag, so okay. So I have all my employee here because I didn't specify anything. For example, if I start putting Poe, you're gonna see I have the employee names that include the word Poe. If I put Eve, there is no employee. If I put no employee, if I put car, anything. If I put something, I have the employee name that's starting with this, or include this word. And for example, if I put something that is not in the list, they're gonna return this error. And I don't want this to happen. So what I can do is go back to data validation alert. I'm gonna show error alert after invalid data is entered. So I'm gonna uncheck this and see, okay. If I put my name, for example, we don't have this in the list because yeah, it's not found. And for example, I want to return a department. In here, we can use a XLOOKUP, but we can use the filter as well. So I'm gonna use the filter. So the array is gonna be the department, and I want to return to include the employee names equal to what we're gonna have. Okay. Okay, it is, yes. And close. So if you don't find, let's put uh, nothing, for example. Okay, you don't find this, so you don't return anything. But if I start something else, let's say I can select the employee. We have the department. And to allow this to be dynamic, I can convert my original table to a data table, Excel table. So I just convert this. My table have header, so it's okay. And just want to clear the format. And we can add another employee, for example. And she's working in marketing, for example. And if I come back here, I can have Salif, yes, working in marketing. So it's gonna be dynamic. I can add new employee. I have my drop down list that's gonna be update instantly. So this is what I wanted to show you today. If you have any question, uh, I'm here to respond. And yes, filter function is a really great function. We can use it in many things to do a lot of calculation, as we show here.
Great. Thanks, Salif. So any question from anyone? Is there anyone who has got any question for Salif? This is really, for me, I find that because most of the time I kind of think of filter as a replication, like as a substitute for the filter tool. I never thought of it to use it to replicate what I would have done with SUMIF to overcome, having to create intermediate calculations because of that SUMIF requirement that I can't do a formula within. And especially that example you gave of the accounting, where you've got all these classifications and you want to sum if where some records match a particular pattern, but you need to do a formula to get out that pattern. So it was really eye-opening for me, really nice to see that. And I don't know if others have questions or anything they want to comment on. If you raise your hand, I can put you in a presenter mode where you can unmute and then you can be able to say something. Let me check. I think someone's put something in the chat. Okay, so Usman is asking why you put star in the formula.
Why I put?
asterisk in the formula. So I wasn't watching closely, but I'm guessing it would be this one that you just did. If you go back here,
Which
is
formula?
maybe it was not this. If you so go to the let's see.
Here, not here, or
Uh, I was typing something. Osman, do you want to come off mute? Let me give you presenter mode. It says in the drop down list.
a drop
So
down
that's
list.
the yeah.
Three, maybe here. No. Okay. I understand. So we is it talking about? I think this. Right, this one, the hashtag.
Oh, is that
I
what you
think
are
it
referring
has.
to? Because what you wrote was like the ash. It was star you wrote. Osman, let me put you in speaker mode. Is that what you are actually referring to? The- Oh, okay. He said yes. Okay, great. All right. So
Oh
yes,
yes,
it was that hashtag. Yes.
the hashtag is
Hi,
just to. Yes.
hi, hi, Salif.
Yeah.
I can
Hi.
say
Hi.
this one of like informative workshop I have been. It was like my mind's blowing right now, and yeah, that what I mean is like the I like it very much. I couldn't blink. I have been using like X lookup, V lookup, but the dynamic of the filtering function, it's overwhelming actually. Yeah, what I mean is the symbol of hash, and if you may explain the why you use it and yeah, the benefits. And I appreciate if you could like share with us the Excel sheet if it is possible. Thank you.
Okay. We can explain. Uh, Actually, the hashtag I put it allow the formula to spill. For example, let's show you. For example, this is the case for all the dynamic function that in Excel. For example, if I'm referring to it's long. For example, if I am referring to this function, for example, okay, for example, here I use a filter function to allow me to extract the employee with the salary more than 80,000. And for example, if I'm referring to this range, look what gonna happen. You see, if I select this, just it put me only the first cells. It's gonna be N5, N6, for example, and I'm gonna put the as. For example, yeah, this is automatic. I didn't put the as here, but you're gonna return all the result in my. So instead of selecting, for example, I can put N6 and put the as, for example. It's gonna return all the result belonging to the formula because we only put the formula in one cell. It's gonna be in, for example, here it is N5, N6. And if I want to return all the result belonging to this calculation, I guess use the N6 and put the as. It is automatic. For example, come here N6 and push the as, it's gonna spill to take all the result. It working for the dynamic function like the filter function, the sort function, the take function, choose column, and all of those functions. If you want to refer them, and you can use the as. So when I'm doing the drop down list here, if I didn't put the as, I don't I didn't want to have the all the result from the drop down list that we use here. This is why I use the as in in the drop-down list.
Okay, thanks. So, Swan, I hope you got it now, right? Okay, you said it did a thumbs up. Okay,
Okay.
any other question from anyone else? And if you want me to unmute too, if you raise your hand, I will do that. Okay, oh, he's asking that is the file something that you're okay sharing? I think maybe he wants to practice.
Yes. I will share the file after the session with Michael. So maybe Michael will share with you. Yes.
Yeah, so I will tell them where they will find it then. So, okay, great. I think the easiest way it would be. So I will share the community link and I'll be like, you should join so that way I can email out the
Okay.
for the materials the speaker gives we will send it out to. So if you have not joined the community, join the community. That way, if I send it to everybody there, it will get to everyone who is already in the community, both those who watch the recording and those who are live now on this session. So thank you very much, Salif. It's been a wonderful time with you again. I'm not surprised that I will learn something new, and I know you always prepare your materials ahead. So I'm really not surprised. I like the approach you use where you do the thing like when you are showing us how to capture for or and condition. Naturally, when you did it the first time and it didn't work, it made it look as if like this thing is broken, the demo, something has gone wrong. But it was part of your plan. You had planned it that you're going to mimic what a typical person would do. Like, we'll just do the whole thing. You'd be like, why is it not working? Then you started to show us, oh, we should have like used star for to capture and condition. And then you did it, and then it still didn't work. Then you now said we should have factored in that the all conditions should be bucketed as one type of condition, put inside parentheses, and then the other one that will be the and should be separated. So that approach is really, really useful. Like I like that approach, and I'm sure everyone who has stayed to the end too has learned not just about how to use the filter, but also if they come across a problem, how they understand what is happening underneath, and then the way you show the difference between some if how filter can give that flexibility that's not there in SUMIF, and how you can mix it up with other functions like its number, and search, and it's amazing. So thank you very much. I think at this juncture, since there are no questions, I will end the session, and I wish everybody a wonderful week ahead. And thank you once again, Salif. Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.